then we also started something new. Every year for the boys, we do a fitness test entering into the season. The vast majority of our guys, the requirement is that they at least have to complete the test. It's not a fun test. Vast majority of our guys not only complete it, but they pass all the times. This year we kind of added to it. We said, hey, can you get what we call an Ironman? And I can take you through all the different times, but it's a pretty impressive endeavor. And so it was not meant for something for a lot of people to achieve. You have to come in fit, right? And it's just kind of always about that extra degree. And so these guys were super committed and came into the off season. Now it's senior Davis Lee, senior Shane Brennan, and sophomore Jared Zavala. So I wanted to give those guys kudos, for coming in, putting in the extra effort where they didn't really have to. And I also wanted to call attention to kind of something I'm going to continue to do here is like all the guys that have a 4.0 on our team. So you can see a significant number of these guys that are a 4.0 or higher. We have Shawn Adedoyan, who's a junior, Shane Brennan, who's a senior, Trip Hungerford, freshman, Davis Lee is a senior, Jacob Mahan as a sophomore, Regan Manas is a senior, Ephraim is a junior, and Jared Zavala as a sophomore. So, I want to give those guys to be top athlete in academics. I try to tell these guys that your academics are almost more important than your athletics. If you're trying to get recruited, that's one of the biggest keys. There's a lot of academic money. So, all right. I also did something this year for the seniors that I guess I'll pass out to them when they come at the end. And this is just basically senior night. And it's an idea that I saw online and then kind of recreated to fit. So it's just the formation that we played. Right, we played like a 3-5-2, and then basically the guys in the position. So on that night, to kind of commemorate their senior night, in which they were all on the field, they'll walk away with a little kind of canvas that I made for them. We've also kind of reimagined the awards, and so I kind of moved away from some of the traditional things and kind of moved more towards character-based stuff, based off of discussions with different programs and stuff like that. And I like what we came up with. And we're going to go through here just a second. Coach Kadag kind of helped me out here. I came up with this, but he helped kind of make it come to life. So we'll go through it one at a time. Open it up. Oh, yeah, you ready? I guess we'll get everybody up here first. All right, first one is freshman Trip Hungerford. Come on down. We'll do the other freshman, Avery. We have sophomore Eduardo Moraes, sophomore Silas Euler, sophomore Jacob Mahan, sophomore Alex Rosales, sophomore Jared Zavala, sophomore Camilo Carrera is not here. We have junior Hudson Moore. Junior Carlos Navarro is not here. Junior Shawn Adedoyan. We have also junior Ephraim Rivera not here. We have junior Hudson Whalen. Junior Gino Belli. Wilson Hawkins. All right, for the seniors, first, senior Ethan Timmons. All right, next is goalkeeper number 1, Yahir Gonzalez. Senior number 3, Jaden Giampi. Senior captain number 2, Davis Lee. Senior number 9, Shane Brennan. Senior captain number 10, Regan Manis. All right, now we're just gonna say something really quick about each of the seniors. This year I moved away from my rhymes, and I'm moving. I know. So I'm moving into try to simplify, did a little superpower for each person. Try to pick one quality that was their superpower. So I did 3, and then Coach Kadad did 3. So my 3, first one is Regan Manis. I said that his superpower is earnestness. Before all of you guys go, I don't know what earnestness is. Earnestness is the quality of being sincere, heartfelt, and deeply serious in intention, purpose, or effort. It signifies a genuine, dedicated commitment to task, belief, or feeling often marked by intensity and a lack of hypocrisy. It implies a passionate or determined mindset. Regan was and is deeply serious about his role as a player, teammate, and captain. I witnessed his continual striving not only to be a better soccer player, but also a better human. He was the first to include the unincluded, give rides to the rideless, and okay, now it just sounds like he's Mother Teresa, but you get the point. Having taught and coached for 20 years, Regan shows a unique maturity. He acts with the intention and wisdom of someone much older. It is rare to come across not only a player, but any person who can take criticism well. He sees criticism not as a personal attack, but as an opportunity for growth. That is not easy at all. Regan went from a bench player in 2025 to a starter by the end of the season. At the Banquet, he was voted the most improved player by his peers. And what is more satisfying than earning something that says that you showed more growth in your game than everybody else? This year, he wasn't just interested in being a starter, he wanted to be a leader, and a leader he was. Regan, thank you for your passion, your dedication, sincerity, and leadership. You made this team better because you were a part of it. Next up is Jaden Giamfi. Jaden's superpower, entertainment. Entertaining is the ability to energize others through confidence, humor, creativity, and flair. Key characteristics include boldness, spontaneity, charisma, and the willingness to attempt the spectacular, which make both performances and personalities memorable. Benefits include creating excitement, elevating the atmosphere, and bringing passion and emotion to competition. While Jaden loves to play with style and panache, doing fancy moves and attempting bangers, he's also willing to play the role the team needs him to fulfill. He scored 2 goals in the greatest comeback in school history over Carrollton, but also worked tirelessly on the wing with little or no recognition in many games. While I know he preferred to play striker and get all the glory of goals, he stepped into the winger role and embraced it for the team. Jaden, thank you for your entertainment. May your infectious smile always brighten the mood and your flair always keep people watching. Whether it was attempting skills you saw by Ronaldo on TikTok or highlights of Neymar on YouTube, you always gave people something to remember. And to borrow from the movie Gladiator, were we not entertained? Some people might be too young for that. Ethan Timmons, superpower, persistence. Persistence is the firm, continued effort to achieve a goal, overcome obstacles, or endure despite difficulties. Key characteristics include determination, tenacity, and endurance, which act as a psychological resource for resilience. Ethan is persistent. Persistent in the pursuit of his goal to become a varsity player, persistent in chasing down loose balls, and persistent in hunting down defenders with the ball. Ethan did not make varsity 3 times, but persisted until he made the team. He did not start in the scrimmage for the first couple games, but he persisted until he became the starting striker for the remaining 16 games and the leading scorer on the season. Many defenders underestimated the speed and power Ethan packed, only realizing it too late, usually after he'd already gone by them. Once he made a decision to go after the ball, he attacked the ball like an old school fullback with 1 yard to gain. I have no doubt that once Ethan completely decides on the path that he wants to take in life, he will do it with the same conviction that he played every time he stepped on the field. Full steam ahead.
Alright, I'm going to do the next 3 seniors. I'll start with Yair. His superpower, likability. Likability is the ability to make others feel comfortable, valued, and accepted through genuine kindness, positivity, and authenticity. It's not about being the loudest person in the room or constantly seeking attention. Instead, it comes from treating people with respect, showing consistency in character, and creating an environment where others enjoy being around you. People with likability naturally bring teams closer together and make those around them better simply by the way they carry themselves. Over the past 3 years, Yair has been a valued part of this program, not just because he played goalkeeper, one of the toughest and most pressure-filled positions on the field, but because of the person he chose to be every single day. Whether it was at training, on game day, or simply being around his teammates, he brought a positive attitude that people naturally gravitated toward. As a goalkeeper, there are moments of pressure, frustration, and criticism that come with the position. Through it all, Yair remained steady, and something that mattered just as much as any save is attitude. He was always positive, always respectful, and always willing to encourage the people around him. You would be hard-pressed to find a teammate who didn't enjoy having Yair around. Some players leave their mark through statistics, goals, or highlight moments. Others leave their mark through the way they make people feel. Yair built strong relationships, treated everyone with kindness, and made his team better simply by being himself. That kind of impact cannot always be measured, but it was always remembered. Yair, thank you for your positivity, your kindness, and the example you set over these past 3 years. You made this team stronger, closer, and better because you're a part of it. The next 2, and I'll mention in here, I've known since they were in like 7th and 8th grade. So it's pretty cool to kind of see them all the way here. We're going to start with Davis Lee. His superpower, consistency. Consistency is the ability to perform at a high level day after day, regardless of circumstances, pressure, or distractions. It is built through discipline, preparation, and a commitment to uphold a standard, even when no one is watching. Consistent people understand that greatness is not created in one big moment. It is created through the small choices, habits, and effort repeated over time. Their reliability becomes their strength, and their standard becomes the example others follow. Having coached Davis since he was in 7th grade, I've had the unique opportunity to watch his journey to grow from Georgia Alliance all the way to becoming captain at Hillgrove High School. Even back then, there was something different about him. You could see the work ethic, the focus, the maturity that made it obvious he was going to become not only a very good player, but eventually a leader others would follow. When I took the job at Hillgrove, one of the things I was genuinely excited about was the opportunity to coach Davis again and see what he could become. He did not disappoint me. This year, as a captain, Davis set the standard every single day. He rarely had an off day, whether it was training, games, summer workouts, or even the work being done before practice officially started. Davis showed up ready to go. He understood that leadership is not about speeches or titles, it's about actions, preparation, example you set when nobody is forcing you to do the extra work. His commitment to do the extra work also earned him a place in this year's Ironman Club. In his very first year, only 3 players in the entire program earned this distinction, and Davis was one of them. Before the season even started, Davis made up his mind he was going to have his best season. Not for recognition, not for anyone else, but for himself. He committed to the process, embraced the work, and held himself accountable to a high standard day in and day out. That kind of self-driven commitment is rare, and is one of the reasons his teammates respected him so deeply. Some players lead with words, some players lead with emotion. Davis led with consistency. He showed up, worked hard, competed, and gave the program the same level of focus and commitment every single day. That kind of leadership changes a team. Davis, thank you for your discipline, your leadership, and the standards you set for everyone around you. Watching the player and leader you've become has been incredibly rewarding, and this team is better off because of the consistency you brought to it every day. And last but not least, Shane Brennan. Superpower, loyalty. Loyalty is the ability to remain committed, dependable, and true to the people and responsibilities that matter most. It is built through trust, consistency, and the willingness to show up, not just when things are easy, but every single day. Loyal people do not look for recognition or attention. They simply do what needs to be done, support the people around them, and prove through their actions that they can always be counted on. Because of that, loyalty creates trust, and trust creates leadership. I first got to know Shane back on that same Georgia Alliance team before he ever got to high school, and even then there were certain qualities that stood out immediately. He was genuine, dependable, and that kind of player coaches love to have around because you always know exactly what you're going to get from him. When he made his way into high school soccer, those qualities only became stronger. Over the years, Shane became one of those players you could always count on, whether it was on the field, in training, doing workouts, or helping with whatever needed to be done. Shane was always there. He never looked for excuses, never looked for shortcuts, and never made things about himself. If something needed to be handled, Shane could be trusted to step up and take care of it. That's why he became one of only 3 players to earn a spot in the Ironman Club. As a teammate, Shane brought something every team needs: reliability. His teammates knew he had their back, coaches knew he would handle his responsibilities, and when big moments came this season, he delivered in big ways, scoring some absolutely fantastic goals that helped lift the team when it mattered the most. And of course, no conversation about Shane would be complete without mentioning one of the few questionable life choices: being a Liverpool fan. Especially playing for a coach who supports Manchester United. Sorry, Shane, I had to one more time. Okay. Shane, thank you for your loyalty, your character, and the example you set every day. You are the kind of player every coach wants, every teammate trusts, and every program needs. Your reliability, your heart, and your willingness to always be there made this team stronger in more ways than you probably realize. Thank you, guys.
They're going to sit down and then we're going to call up the awards one by one.